Hello and a very warm welcome back to Fox's Weight Watcher Kitchen. I'm Johnny Fox. Now today's recipe is going to be one of the Weight Watchers favourites with some ripe bananas. The fresh ones, we always like to eat those nice and raw, but what do we do with old ripe bananas? Very simple. It's a Weight Watcher favourite, and as we know, it's a great breakfast start to the day as well. Banana pancakes. Things that you will need is a bowl. Get your ripe bananas, and you're going to need, I always do mine on a little plate to do the mashing down of the banana as well, and you're going to need some eggs as well. Now quantity wise, how much do we need? Banana wise, I always take just one ripe banana, as you can see falling apart already. Let's just unravel the banana. As you can see, lovely and ripe on the inside, but we don't want these horrible, nasty black bits. Put the rubbish to one side and give the fingers a wipe. Mashing the banana, this is a bit I always find easy. I've seen people doing it in the bowls and other various ways. I find on a plate is really easy. Just get your fork and just squash it down, because you don't need to really over mash this. I've tried putting this in the blender. I've tried mashing, basically to mash and mash and mash to pieces, but then after watching quite a lot of recipes, they just tend to give it a quick mash. As you can see, nicely squashed up. Once we've got that in place, I use a couple of eggs. Now I've seen various ways on YouTube videos and other Weight Watcher videos to watch how to do these. Some people say you can use 7 ounces of egg. Other people say you're using this quantity of egg, that quantity of egg, and different quantities. For this one, I always use just 2 eggs. As you can see, they're just the medium standard size eggs. And to get them to raise slightly as well, you will need a little bit of your baking powder. So get a teaspoon, and I just add in roughly half a spoon. What that does, it gives it that lovely fluffy taste at the end. If you don't put it in, I always find they're a little bit harder to work with. So we just give this a little bit of a whisk up. Like any kind of baking that you do, give it a nice little whisk. And then, once that's all together, we just get the bananas and pour those into the mixture and give it another quick mix. That's all to one side. The other ripe bananas move to one side. And that is your mix for your banana pancakes already. Now we will, after I've done this one, because this is one that Weight Watchers are famous for, lots of people have done it, and people are saying, well, I would put vanilla into mine, I'll put a bit of cinnamon in mine, some people put nutmeg. Trying to keep this one as plain and as simple as possible, and just trying to get rid of the last of that baking powder to mix it in. Now, if I get my little hot plate out, because we don't need to have a big stove for this one, get my little pan. I love my little frying pan, and just a couple of quick sprays. I use the fry light. This time round I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil and put this on the pan ready. And so we know how much we're going to mix up, all I'm going to mix up is 1 spoonful full per pancake. So your typical serving spoon. And all we do, get it as level as you can. That's roughly all you will need, because I've found over the time of doing these, you can break these very easy. They don't turn very easy. There's no gluten and flour. In fact, I might just add just a touch more. I think I went a little bit too shallow on that one. Might just add a touch more into that. And we just leave this on the stove. Now, temperature wise, how high have we got the temperature? I've got this set one on medium heat, or just slightly over medium heat. I've tried this going colder, because sometimes you find the bottom gets a bit too brown. When you're trying to flip them over, you can get them to flip over, or they break up. Again, because there's no gluten in there, no flour like your typical pancakes, you can't take hold of the handle, give it a shake around and flick them over like you've probably seen me doing on my lentil videos and other pancake videos I've done as well. Can't be done this way. So all we're looking for with this, we're just making sure that the edges on this are going slightly sort of solidified around the edges. All you have to do with this is be patient. Once we've got the first one going, you find that the second one and the third one and so forth, because the pan is already hot, they do tend to speed themselves up a bit more. You will need, I use a couple of tools for this. I've got my little rubber spoon that I always use for testing, and then I use my spatula to just lift up and flick over. And it's one of those things, the more you do with this, the easier it becomes. When you start, if you've never done this before, it's not like a standard pancake. It's not going to turn like a standard pancake. As you can see, if we get into the sides here already, you can see you're going to get a lot of this where it sticks to the spoon. It doesn't want to go away. It does take a short while. Bearing in mind, this is the first one. I should have really got the pan a bit hotter to start with. Normally when I do this and I'm showing it, I get my light spray, spray it in there. You can hear the hissing because the pan is nice and warm already. This one, I'm waiting for the pan to warm up. It's got a lovely heat temperature at the moment. Taste-wise, when they come out, these are really, really nice. But all I'm going to do is just keep testing the sides first. As you can see, still catching the spoon. Not happy when it does that, so I'll leave it alone for a little bit longer. A bit like, remember when I did my lentil recipe? If you haven't seen that one, check that one out there. Same sort of principle as this. You have to be a little bit patient to start with. Just wait until you can see the edges. You can see over the top a few of these bubbles are just starting. This is when you know it's just starting to get to a cooked consistency. What you don't want to do is to get it overcooked. Let's just grab another little plate ready. I'll put that into the front so that when we are ready to serve up, and now I can hear, it's sort of like you get used to these the more you do them. You can hear it's got that kind of sizzling noise going on underneath. So that means it's almost there. I'm just going to try moving this away. Let's grab my handle a bit. As you can see, it's getting a bit harder now. And all we're doing is just testing underneath to try and get that to move. As you can see, that's almost there. Not quite moving in the middle. And as you can see, it's starting to break up because, again, these are very, like I say, without the gluten from flour, these are very, very soft. So now we know that's almost there. We're just going to get the spatula and just keep pushing and pushing it so we can get it all the way underneath. And as you can see, still a little bit too loose, and a little flick over the top, and then just flick the pancake over. The first one, as I always say, it never comes out perfect. Shape-wise, it doesn't really matter. If you're a first-time user of doing these pancakes, trust me, it's all about the taste with these. And people, like I say, if you want to add vanilla essence to it, you can do. If you want to add your nutmeg and your cinnamon powders in there to spice it up. I've even known some people, you know, when you get that powdered coffee mate or the coffee powder that makes it, the coffee taste creamy, I've even seen some people put those inside of that at the same time. This is your typical Weight Watchers pancake. It only takes, as you can see, a few minutes to get ready. Once the pan's hot, trust me, they do go a lot easier and a lot quicker. That is almost ready. I'm just going to give this a test now to see. Not the perfect shape, this one, but as you can see, it's got that lovely brown colour over the top of it, which is where it started underneath. They don't move around like your typical pancakes. Normally that would be searing round and round and round, because again, there's not much to hold them together and they do tend to stick a bit. So you will need your spatula. And that is pretty much loose in the bottom, so that will be the first pancake all done. As you can see, not the perfect shape, but it's very nice. I'm going to grab my fork, because I do love these. Give it a quick wipe. But these pancakes, as you know, I'm a lentil lover. I eat lots of lentil pancakes for breakfast. But these, taste-wise, are absolutely delicious. Now, that is your standard Weight Watcher pancake. As anyone that knows me, I do like to do my own spin on food, and as you've heard me talk before, I've got my lentil pancakes. I normally used to make, remember in the last video, if you haven't seen how to make this lentil mix, this mixture is basically just 1 cup of lentils, 2 cups of water. It's been soaked overnight, blended, and I've just poured it into a jug because today I'll be making a few of my own pancakes and lentil flatbreads as well. Give it a stir. Now into this normal mix that we've got, let's move that to one side as well. As you can see, this is our banana and egg mixture that we made a few moments ago. All I'm going to add to this is about 3 spoonfuls of lentils, all blended up. And what this does, like with your typical pancakes, I find that this helps them cook. Taste-wise, there's no difference whatsoever. And as you can see, all I'm doing is just mixing this up just so it's nice and loose and it's all in the same consistency. Same as what we did before. Now this is the noise that I should have heard before. Just a little bit of that hissing noise over the top. And exactly the same way as we made the first pancake. 1 good spoonful. Now you can just hear from the sound of that That one has gone in absolutely perfect. And I think while that one's cooking up, we're going to leave that to one side. I'm just going to find my fork again. Let's give that a quick wipe. I do like to eat things nice and clean. And while that one's getting ready, you can hear it's got a nice little sizzle going on there. I'm just going to have a bit more of this because these pancakes are to die for. Once you get used to them, I'll be honest, when I first started doing these, I wasn't a lover of these too hot. It's one of those things you have to get used to it. It's eggs, it's bananas, it's basically a 2-ingredient pancake, but then to get the fluffy agent to raise them up like this, I add a little bit of my baking powder. Americans call it baking soda. If you don't add that in there, they don't get really light and fluffy, and they're still a bit awkward to play with. So, I'm going to keep doing this. Polish this one up, I think, nice and quick while that one's getting ready. As you can see now, sorry, I had to cut that while I was eating the rest of the pancake. Do apologise for that, but they're so nice. Just going to give this one a test now on the edges. You can see it's still not quite there. Again, it's all about being patient with these pancakes. You have to know where to draw the line and where to say, sorry, I'm not going to do this one. Actually, that's just starting to move now. But I'm going to give that a little bit longer, even though it's sliding around the pan. I sometimes wish that I had one, you know, these rubber spoons, they're so good for getting underneath. And then this is where sometimes I cheat with the rubber spoon, because that does go underneath it. Then I'll get my spatula and I can get right underneath the whole lot and give it a quick flick over. And as you can see, beautiful little pancakes. Look at the way that beautiful brown consistency underneath. Flavour wise on these, again, you know, if you want to add other ingredients to these to get them tastier, as you know from the lentil ones, when I'm doing my lentil pancakes, I use the Skinny Food Company sauces over the top of these. With these, they're so nice and sweet, because these, when you get these bananas that are so ripe, rather than just throw them away, my wife, she was terrible for things like that. Ripe bananas like that, she prefers the fresh ones from the supermarket. She has those with her oats in the morning sometimes. I prefer these ones. I like my pancakes. She's not a lover of it. It's one of those, it's a bit like Marmite, as people say. It's a love or hate recipe. Personally, I love these. When I started, wasn't a lover of banana flavour really warm like it is now, so I used to keep them to one side, put them in the fridge, and then just leave them. And then if I wanted to nibble in the evening time, I've got, instead of having a packet of sweets or a packet of crisps or something sweet, I used to get these little banana pancakes out and have a little nibble on those. And trust me, you get more and more used to them the more you eat them. This is just about ready, and there is another pancake just about done. That one, I'm going to take that one out and put him on the plate as well. I'm going to carry on and get the rest of these ready, put the next one in, and we'll come back in just a second once I put some more of these together. So back in again in a sec. And that is the last one, just about ready. We just plop this one out, and as you can see from this lovely bit of cooking, just going to move my hot plate to one side out of the way. And as you can see, a nice little breakfast stack. There's your pancakes. They are so tasty, so yummy. And again, like I said, if you don't like them warm, you can put them in the fridge, leave them, have them as a snack later on. You can see they do look really, really yummy. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you on the flip side. If you like the recipe, click on the subscribe button below, click on the bell button. You won't miss any of the recipes. Coming up, I'm going to probably follow on with a few more recipes with the egg thing again, because little snacks throughout the daytime I like to eat while I'm on the road, but I haven't got time to stop and buy the sandwich and put the calories on. So again, if you like this one, click on the subscribe, click the bell, you won't miss any more, and we'll catch you on the next video. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye now.